They're 30 miles and a league apart. And 6 times a year, Southern California baseball fans get to end the verbal debates and watch it get settled on the field. Earlier in Anaheim and now in Los Angeles, all of Southern California's biggest baseball names take the field together. Rising stars, proven veterans, and future Hall of Famers with one goal: to give their fans bragging rights when talking about the team at the other end of the freeway. Angels, Dodgers, Game 1 next. It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, FSN Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Angels. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday night to you, wherever you may be. It'll be a sellout crowd tonight. It'll be a sellout crowd tomorrow afternoon. It will be a sellout crowd on Sunday. In other words, it's the so-called Freeway Series, the Dodgers and the Angels. The Angels, sweeping the Dodgers in Anaheim, have won 5 straight when they're home. The Dodgers, meanwhile, have beaten the Angels 4 straight here at Dodger Stadium. The pitching for tonight, Derek Lowe with a record of 6-6. He is 5-5 lifetime against the Angels, pitched a complete game but lost, and as you probably know, he has 3 complete games this year and yet lost all 3. Ervin Santana will be on the mound for the Angels. He had a 9-1 victory against the Dodgers in Anaheim. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
Away from baseball right here on FSN Prime Ticket. 2 really good teams going at it. The Angels and the Dodgers Freeway Series action moments away. Steve Lyons, Kevin Kennedy, I'm Patrick O'Neill once again with you. Pretty good game tonight. What are your keys, Kevin?
Keys to stop the running game of the Angels. That's tough to do. They're number 2 overall in hitting. They're number 2 overall in Major League Baseball. I'm talking about in stealing bases, and that's really saying something. And Mike Scioscia likes to squeeze. He likes to do all kinds of things, hit and run, and Grady Little's got to be on top of his game tonight with the guys.
My key for the Dodgers is to get into that bullpen, the middle relief early. No one wants to see the back end of that bullpen with Shields and K-Rod, but check this out. Shields has gone multiple inning relief appearances in back-to-back nights. He might be a little bit tired.
Yeah, well, you got National League type baseball coming up for you right here at FSN Prime Ticket. Stay tuned for the call with Vince Scully next. Don't forget to join us after the game. We have the FSN live post-game show. We have interviews. Steve and the skipper right here at center field, and we'll give you updates on the NL West and AL West. Vince Scully next with the call.
Dodger Baseball on FSN Prime Ticket is brought to you by Gatorade. It's in the MLB. Is it in you? By Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. And by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday night to you, wherever you may be. It's a glorious summer's evening here at Dodger Stadium, and, of course, a series that everyone in town has been looking forward to, the Angels and the Dodgers Round 2. Remember, the Angels swept the Dodgers, not only swept them, piled up the runs 19-5. The Dodgers, however, have won 4 straight against the Angels here at Dodger Stadium. And the Dodgers are coming off a sweep against the New York Mets, and they piled up 18 runs to 5 against New York. Here's the way the red-hot Angels come in today. It'll be Sean Figgins leading off at third base, Orlando Cabrera at short, and the great Vladimir Guerrero in right field with a .325 career batting average. Gary Matthews Jr. in center, Casey Kotchman at first, Garrett Anderson in left field, Howie Kendrick plays second base, Jose Molina behind the plate, and Ervin Santana on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, and you have to apply it, hard luck, Derek Lowe. Derek Lowe has had a quality start in 9 of his last 14. He is 6-6, but in his 6 losses, the Dodgers have scored him a total of 7 runs. And in his 5 victories, he's allowed only 10. Last time out against the Angels, that was on the 20th of May. He turned in a complete game and still lost that one. Allowed 3 earned runs and 9 hits. And of course for Derek, he has 3 complete games this year and has lost all 3. So hard luck Derek Lowe with a 6-6 record. 0-1 against the Angels back in May. 5-5 lifetime. We can also tell you that the Diamondbacks have beaten Baltimore 7-3. The Red Sox beat the Giants 10-2. And most importantly, San Diego lost to the Chicago Cubs 4-1. So the Dodgers have a chance now to climb back over San Diego. So leading off, Sean Figgins with a 13-game hitting streak. He's been red hot. The last time the Dodgers saw him in Anaheim, he was struggling. He bunts right out in front of the plate, and Martin will shoot him down. So Figgins bunted about 2 feet in front of home plate and pays the price. Here are the Dodgers defensively. Garciaparra and Kent, Percall and Bettamy, Gonzalez, Pierre and Kemp, Martin behind the plate, and Derek Lowe on the mound. So 1 away here in the first inning on the bunt attempt by Sean Figgins. And now Orlando Cabrera, who is really playing sensational ball for the Angels. For openers, he leads the club with a .337 batting average, and he's right up there tops among all big league shortstops. Cabrera takes a strike and the count 0-1. Cabrera with everything else holding down shortstop with a young infield. Kochman, Kendrick, and Figgins. And the strike 1 pitch, a chopper up the middle, flagged by an attempt to flag it by Furcal, but it goes on through into center. Even if Rafael had gotten his glove on the ball, he could not have had a play on Cabrera. So Orlando Cabrera, another base hit. The dazzling shortstop now aboard. And of course that allows Vladimir Guerrero to come up with a man on. Vladimir Guerrero is an amazing ball player in a lot of reasons. He is hitting .335. He has 12 home runs, 61 runs batted in, and Lowe's sinker is off the plate, ball 1. The other thing about Guerrero, he has only struck out 26 times with all of his power. His first 40 games, he only struck out 14 times, and he averages about 63 strikeouts a year. Another sinker is low, and a 2-ball, no strike count to Vladimir Guerrero. So Vlad waiting. Originally, of course, signed by the Expos. So close to being a Dodger, but as they say, that's another story. The 2-0 pitch in for a strike, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Guerrero. In looking at Derek Lowe's work, Guerrero 5 for 16 against him. That would be a .313 batting average. Derek hands it aside, now set, looks at Cabrera, back to Guerrero, and it's fouled off. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Vladimir Guerrero. Guerrero, one of only 4 players in the last 50 years to hit 300 or better for 10 straight seasons. I mean, he's right there with Wade Boggs, Rod Carew, and Tony Gwynn. 2-2 pitch is a throw to first, and Cabrera back on the bag. Cabrera, another thing he does exceptionally well is run and steal bases. He's 7 for 7. And the Dodgers just finished looking at the Mets. Now they're looking at the #1 stolen base club, the Angels. Guerrero swings and doesn't get it and strikes out. So that's news. So Guerrero strikes out for the second out. Now, with 2 down and Cabrera at first, Gary Matthews Jr. coming up. As far as Matthews is concerned, he is just 2 for 10 against Derek Lowe. So Gary, a switch hitter, batting left-handed. No score, we're just starting. 2 down. Cabrera with a bouncing single up the middle is at first base. Gary hitting .282 and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Gary, of course, son of a former major leaguer, In fact, he has his dad's baseball card in his locker. 0-1 the count. Gary lives in Newport Beach. He was born in San Francisco. He takes a pitch off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. His dad, nicknamed Sarge, played 16 years in the major leagues. Gary, who pretty well grew up here in Los Angeles. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Low comes back and a good hard sinker swung on and missed. 1-2 the count. So Low gave up the base hit to Cabrera, but he got Figgins on a bunt, struck out Guerrero, and a 1-2 count to Gary Matthews. Well-proportioned center fielder. He's 6'3", 225. Originally drafted by the Padres. There goes Cabrera. A check swing for strike 3 call. So Lowe strikes out Guerrero and Matthews. They leave Cabrera at first. And at the end of half an inning, Angels nothing, Dodgers coming up. Derek Lowe and Russell Martin engage in conversation with pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. The Angels fail to score in the first inning, and here's the way the Dodgers stack up. For Call, Pierre and Garcia Parra, Kent, Gonzalez and Martin, Wilson Betemit, who has homered in 3 straight and each of the last 2 games, and he'll be coming up batting 7th. Then you have Matt Kemp and Derek Lowe. And on the mound, Urban Santana. He is 24 years old, 6'2", only about 165 pounds, from the Dominican Republic, and ready to make his first pitch to Rafael Furcal, and that's outside, ball 1. Santana was second in the American League in lowest opponent's batting average last year. They hit .241 against him. He works away again, 2 balls and no strikes. This year, the opposition is hitting .277 against him, and the reason, his inability to win on the road. 2-0 pitch in for a strike. Santana's record 5-6, but he is 1-5 with an earned run average of 8.5 on the road. 2-1 pitch to Furcal, and that's low, ball 3. At home, he is 4-1. Rafael checking in to lead it off to try to get something started. Santana back with a fastball fouled off, and a 3-2 count. The Rafael going after Urban Santana. Tomorrow afternoon, Jared Weaver and Jason Schmidt. 3-2 pitch on the way, and Furcal fouls that away. Sunday, the concluding game, Kelvin Escobar and Randy Wolf. Dodgers then go out on the road. Off on Monday, they'll be traveling to Toronto, then Tampa Bay, and they'll finish up in Arizona. 3-2 pitch on the way is off the plate, ball 4. So Santana walks the leadoff man. We'll take a look at the Angels defensively. Kochman, Kendrick, Cabrera, and Figgins. Anderson, Matthews, Guerrero in the outfield. Molina behind the plate. Santana on the mound. Couple of defensive notes. Cabrera has had a brilliant early part of this year. He has made only 4 errors. However, Sean Figgins over at third has made 7 errors in 37 games. And out in right field, Vladimir Guerrero has made 5 errors. He made the most of any outfielder last year when he made 11. And the first pitch to Juan Pierre, a strike. So there's a couple of areas where the Angels would like to improve defensively, and certainly at those spots. And an 0-1 count to Juan Pierre. Pierre hitting .279. Furcal off the bag. Juan swings, fouls it back out of play. 0-2 the count. One plus side on the Angel defense would be Cabrera, who leads all major league shortstops and only has 4 errors. And Casey Kochman at first base has made only 1 error in the last 129 games. 0-2 to Pierre. Santana ready and delivers on the hands. A little pop-up caught by Santana. And so Pierre is jammed, pops it up to the pitcher. 1 out in the first inning, and Nomar coming up.
Number 5, Nomar.
There is certainly a lot of differences between Derek Lowe and Irvin Santana, and one of them certainly would be home runs allowed. Derek Lowe has allowed 5 home runs, and Irvin Santana has allowed 16. That kind of takes your breath away this early in the year. So Santana now working on Garciaparra with Jeff Kent on deck. Out of his stretch goes Santana, looks over his left shoulder at Furcal. Very deliberate, comes to Garciaparra, and it's in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Rafael Furcal over at first base has stolen 7 out of 10. 0-1 the count. Santana again out of his stretch. No score, bottom of the first inning. Santana over the top with a good fastball swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. He had 93 on the gun. It is still that time of a game where the lights have not taken great effect. Nice powder blue sky at sunset time, though that fastball appears to be even faster. 0-2 the count to Nomar. Santana ready, back he comes just off the plate. Another fastball at 91. In looking at Santana's work against the Dodgers, Andre Ethier has a home run, but he's not in the lineup. Garciaparra 2 for 5. Now the 1-2 pitch to Nomar, and Santana then backs off the rubber. Jeff Kent on deck, just 1 for 7 against Santana. Irvin last year 16-8. Slender right-hander ready. 1-2 pitch is a little dribbler to the right of the mound. Easy feed to first for the out, and on the play, Furcal goes to second. So Pierre hit a little pop fly to Santana. Garciaparra grounds easily to Santana, and Bill Miller in the Dodger dugout now, flanked between Brad Penny and Andre Ethier, the Dodgers interim hitting coach. You may remember when he was playing for the Red Sox, Bill won the American League batting championship in 2003. So Miller filling the gap for a while anyway. The use of the word interim certainly applies. And the batter now is Jeff Kent. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Furcal a lead at second. Santana ready and delivers. Breaking ball, but it wrinkles low. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Jeff hitting .261 with 9 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Last year, right-handers hit only .229 against Santana. Another breaking ball in for a strike, and the count 1-1. Good fastball. He's been clocked as high as 98. Change-up, slider, big slow curve. 4 or 5 years ago, when he was just starting with the Angels, he really had a herd chirk in his delivery, but he smoothed that out. Another breaking ball down and away. So 2-1 the count. Kent hasn't seen a fastball and might not. One reason Santana says he works quicker, and of course Mike Scioscia watching him very carefully. One reason is he said he doesn't want the hitter to think about what he's doing. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Jeff Kent. Very deliberate. There's the fastball in for a strike. So 3 breaking balls and a 94-mile-an-hour fastball and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. When Santana signed with the Angels 7 years ago for a big bonus, he was a supposed 16 years old. He was actually 17 at the time, and he was going by another name. He was going by the name Johan Santana, and then a U.S. visa crackdown revealed he was 10 months older, and his first name wasn't Johan, it was Irvin. Though by any other name, he's become a fixture, having won 12 and now last year 16. 2-2 pitch on the way, and it's in the dirt. Nice block by Molina. The 3-2 the count to Jeff Kent with a runner for call at second. 2 down, first inning, and no score. Since the 8th of May, the Angels have won 10 of the last 11 series they've played. They lost a series to Detroit May 22, 3-4. But for Mike Scioscia's club, They've won 25 and lost 9 since May the 8th. With 42 wins, they're tops in the big leagues. 3-2 pitch is low and away with a fastball. So Kent is aboard, and Luis Gonzalez will be coming up. Gonzo 2 for 4. A puzzled look on Scioscia's face. I think Mike thought that pitch was a lot closer to being a strike. So 2 on, 2 out, and here is Gonzo. 2 for 4 in the pass against Kochman. And of course, Luis playing very, very well, hitting .287, 8 home runs, 28 runs batted in, and every time you look up, it seems like he is coming up with an extra base hit, usually a double. That's become a trademark. He has 561 doubles in his career. Santana ready and delivers off speed, drops it in for a strike. Breaking ball in the 70s. The Gonzo has 7 RBIs during the homestand. 0-1 the count to the left-hand batter. Out of a stretch goes Santana, and his strike 1 pitch, another breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Big overhand curve. So he walked for a call, then he walks Kent. Now he jumps out in front of Gonzalez. No balls, 2 strikes. Santana out of a stretch. Right-hander ready and delivers, and a breaking ball in the dirt, and Molina again blocking it nicely. 1-2 the count. As far as Santana is concerned, he has struck out 61 and he has walked 31. So Irvin looks in, getting a sign. 24-year-old checking, now out of his stretch. Another look at the runners with 2 out. And the 1-2 pitch, Gonzalez takes low, and another block by Molina, and a new ball put in play. So the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. No score in the first inning. And for Irvin Santana, he has made twice as many pitches as Derek Lowe in the first inning. Lowe made 12. This will be number 25. And the 2-2 pitch is a breaking ball grounded to Kochman. He'll hang it for his pitcher coming over, and that's it. No runs, no hits, 2 left. And at the end of an inning, the Dodgers and the Angels, no score. There they are here. 2 young boys, one an Angel fan, one a Dodger fan, and you would expect them to grow up and spend their entire lives disagreeing from one end of the freeway to the other. Meanwhile, in the second inning, Casey Kochman takes a strike. Big left-hand batter, 6'3", 215, out of Florida. His dad, a minor league manager and a scout for the team in Florida. And Casey takes a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Went to Seminole High School and was a first-round pick 6 years ago. The 1-1 pitch, Kochman holds up, and it's in for a strike, and the count 1-2. You know, we mentioned earlier, among other things, that the Angels are a running ball club. They led the American League last year with 148 stolen bases. They lead this year with 61. Kochman takes outside, and that balances things. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Derek Lowe has shown dramatic improvement in cutting down the running game. I mean, the runners used to really take advantage of it. 2-2 pitch is inside. In fact, 1 year with the Red Sox, the league stole 34 bases against Lowe, and only 2 were caught. Well, so far this year, 6 stolen bases and 7 have been caught. Little ground ball slowly for call, relying on his arm, and just does get the left-hand hitter. So Raphael waiting and allowing that ball pretty much to come to him instead of charging. And we have 1 away in the second inning. Garrett Anderson coming up. When the Dodgers and the Angels got together in Anaheim, Anderson was not in the lineup. He was still on the DL. In fact, Garrett on Saturday had to come out of the game a sore leg, but he's in there tonight. Left-hand hitter takes low, ball 1. Casey Kochman had to come out of that game. He had a sore elbow, and you may remember that Jared Weaver, who's going to pitch tomorrow, had to come out of his last start with a pain in the lower back. 2-0 the count to Garrett. He'll be 35 years old on the 30th. Born here in Los Angeles. Went to Kennedy High School. Lives in Granada Hills. 2-0 the count to Garrett Anderson, who nubs one. Foul ball. Russell Martin thought he had a fair ball to throw to first, but the plate umpire Darrell Cousins said no. Garrett Anderson has had a marvelous career, coming up to the Angels in 1994, and a ball player is really blessed if he stays with one franchise all those years. So Garrett, marvelous ball player, hitting .272. Derek Lowe comes back, and that's fouled away, and a 2-ball 2-strike count. Anderson has had some big years for the Angels. Hit as many as 35 home runs, has driven in as many as 123, and setting all kinds of Angel records along the way. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Garrett swings and fouls it off, though he's still up there with one out. Bases empty. Second inning, no score. To repeat, San Diego lost to the Cubs 4-1. The Diamondbacks beat the Orioles 7-3, and the Red Sox knocked off the Giants 10-2. 2-2 pitch on the way. Garrett pulls it on the ground. Garciaparra will do it himself for the second out. San Diego at Chicago, when they lost 4-1, the Padres had won 10 of the last 12 and 6 of the last 7 at Wrigley. One thing that happened, David Wells is a lot like Irvin Santana. You know, Santana is 4-1 at home, 1-5 on the road. Howie Kendrick now in there. Wells has an ERA of 2.9 at home, and on the road going into that game today, an earned run average of almost 7.5, and Wells lost. 1 ball and no strikes to Howie Kendrick. He has an 8-game hitting streak. Bat comes low and is a bouncer over the mound. Kent goes to his right, comes up with it, throws back to first, and that's that. Couple of ground balls. 1-2-3 inning, and at the end of an inning and a half, the Angels nothing and the Dodgers nothing. No score, bottom of the second inning, and an actor who absolutely broke me up. Do you remember the movie Best of Show? Fred Willard is here tonight wearing a Dodger cap as we go to the second. No score with Martin, Betemit, and Kemp. And Russell Martin takes the first pitch high, ball 1, 1-0. Martin hitting .291, 7 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Santana back with a fastball in for a strike, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. Martin went 2 for 5 against Santana. Irvin into the windup, and the 1-1 pitch, fastball foul back. We were talking about Santana and the fact that he wins at home and really struggles on the road. No surprise, last year he was 10-2 at home and a break-even 6-6 on the road. The 1-2 pitch, good fastball, jammed him, and Martin fouls it back, and it's still 1-2. Last year, ERA at home 3, almost 6 on the road, and this year, along with his career, same thing. Struggling on the road. The 1-2 pitch, Martin tries to hold up on a pitch in the dirt. I don't think he did. Nope. He's informed by Darrell Cousins, and that will be strike 3. So Santana gets his first strikeout. Martin holding up. We have a veteran umpire behind the plate, to say the least, and that would be Darrell Cousins. He's been umpiring over 28 years. He was born in Fresno, lives in Southern California, went to school at El Camino Community College. Darrell Cousins. Now the batter is Wilson Betemit, hitting left-handed and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. With a .223 overall batting average, hitting .232 left, .190 right. All 7 of his home runs left-handed, and he lifts one foul off to the left and well out of play. 0-2 the count. So Betemit, with his 7 home runs, 19 runs batted in, has homered in 2 straight against the New York Mets. early in his career, has never homered 3 straight. Takes a good pitch for strike 3. The fastball had just frozen, and down goes Bedemeat. That would be the second strikeout
right
for Irvin Santana, and it will bring up Matt Kemp. Santana, last year, we told you, held right-hand hitters to 229. Left-handers didn't do that much better. They had 250 against him. So here's Kemp. Santana into the windup, and the stringy right-hander gets a strike, and the count 0-1. Matt with a lot of power. The strike 1 pitch on the way off, speed and high, 1-1. I mean, when you can hit one in the low section in left or right field, you really have some sock. 1-1 pitch on the way, and Kemp slices it foul off to the right, well back into the crowd. 1-2 the count. Kemp hitting that thing in the lows, and immediately your mental picture machine suddenly saw big Frank Howard hitting one up there in the 1963 World Series, if you were fortunate enough to be here. 2-2 the count to Matt Kemp. 2 out, second inning, no score. Santana into the windup, and the pitch to Matt is taken down and dirty, blocked in the dirt by Molina, and a new ball put in play. So 3-2 the count. It's the way Santana pitched the first inning. He had 2 hitters 0-2, but he also walked 2. Fastball is swung on and missed to take care of Kemp. So he winds up striking out the side. 3 strikeouts for Irvin Santana, and at the end of 2, no score. Third inning, no score in the ball game. It will be Jose Molina, followed by Irvin Santana, and then Sean Figgins atop of the lineup. Jose Molina, 6'2" and 220. 32 years old. You may remember the World Series of 2002. He and brother Benji became the 4th set of brothers to appear on the same team in the same World Series game. Last time that had happened, 1962, Matty and Felipe Alou. So the pitch to Molina off the plate, ball 1. For Jose, hitting 256 out of Puerto Rico, originally a 14th round pick by the Cubs. Takes off a play, ball 2. He was released by the Cubs and then signed with the Angels the following year. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Now the right-hand hitter looks at a strike, and the count runs 2-1. Molina, who made it to the Cubs in 1999 and 2000, came back up with the Angels to stay in 0-1. Takes the next pitch low, ball 3. And as far as facing Derek Lowe is concerned, Molina just 2 for 10, and he has struck out 3 times. So we're no score, top of the 3rd inning. And the 3-1 pitch, Molina takes outside, ball 4. So the Angels get their second base runner, and the batter will be Irvin Santana. You know, Russell Martin is in the National League's closest battle to start the All-Star game. Needs help to win. To vote for him, go to Dodgers.com, and when you vote, select the Dodgers as your favorite team. You'll receive an email coupon in July, good for 25% off Dodger tickets. And if you vote 25 times, well, you'll get 50% off, compliments of State Farm. Remember, all voters automatically entered to win tickets and meet a Dodger player. Santana takes off the plate, ball 1. For information, go to Dodgers.com/All-Star. Irvin Santana has 2 hits in interleague play, though he's in there hitting .333. Molina short lead at first. Santana shows bunt, tries to bunt, misses it, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Mike Scioscia going through the rigmarole of being a catcher, sending out messages. Eventually it will be translated by Dino Abel and then sent along to Irvin Santana and to Molina. Now remember, we talked about the Angels being a club that leads the league in stolen bases. They led the league last year with 148. Molina is not exactly a threat, but he's still 2 for 2. Derek Lowe ready, and the pitch to Santana, a full swing and a foul at the plate. 1-2 to Irvin Santana. He picked up his second career hit and his first extra base hit with 2 RBIs in St. Louis. He had a double to drive in 2. So Irvin waiting, 1-2 the count. No score, top of the 3rd inning. Lowe ready, here he comes, and the breaking ball is in there. Strike 3 called. So Santana unable to get a bunt down, and is now strikeout number 3 for Derek Lowe. So each pitcher now with 3 strikeouts. And now Sean Figgins coming up, and before he gets up there, first thing he does is take a look down at Dino in the third base coaching box. Sean Figgins, whose full name is Desmond Deshaun Figgins. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. Lowe ready and deals off the plate. Ball 1. Figgins versus Lowe. 5 for 18. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Figgins out of Leary, Georgia, and down in the minor leagues, he and Juan Pierre were teammates and close friends. There goes Molina. Hit and run is missed. The throw down, and they get the big catcher. So Russell Martin hangs Jose Molina out to dry, understandably on a very heavy clothesline, and we have 2 down. Figgins up at the plate has grounded into 5 double plays, so Mike decided to roll the dice and run Molina, and he pays for it. The tag by Furcall. Figgins now a ground ball to Raphael, who has to get rid of it in a hurry, and does. So the Angels are done. No runs, no hits, and at the end of 2 1/2, no score. Bottom of the 3rd inning, no score in the ball game. Irvin Santana against Derek Lowe, and they're against each other right now, and Lowe has the bat. He'll be followed by Raphael Furcall and then Juan Pierre. The Dodgers had 2 base runners in the 1st inning on walks, but nothing else. Santana struck out the side in the 2nd inning, and Lowe pops it up. Kendrick out on the grass to make the catch. So 1 pitch and 1 away. That was the 40th pitch made by Santana. Right there with Derek Lowe's made 38. So no score, bottom of the 3rd, only 1 hit. That was the single by Cabrera up the middle. And now here's Raphael. So for call with Pierre on deck, no score in the ball game. Dodgers really struggling in interleague play, but it's interesting how their fortunes have changed since 05. Raphael shows bunt, takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Since 05, the Dodgers have turned around. They're 11-28 against the American League. The pitch to Raphael, a strike, and a 1-1 count. Prior to that, 0-2, 3, and 4, the Dodgers did very well. They were 33-21 as Furcall hits one foul down the line off third, and that will wind up back in the stands. So 1-2 the count. Sean Figgins going right over to the box seats, but no play. Juan Pierre waiting on deck. One thing the Dodgers don't expect is a lot of long balls from the top 2 hitters in their lineup. Raphael takes in the dirt, 1-2 the count. Give you an idea, Juan Pierre has had 270 at-bats since his last home run. Raphael Furcall walked, 231 plate appearances. Now Santana ready and delivers, and it's popped up on the left side. Figgins with Cabrera behind him, and Sean Figgins makes the catch. So 2 down in the 3rd, and the batter will be Juan Pierre. In breaking the Dodger record down, we were talking before about the fact that since 05 they're 11-28. It should be pointed out that Grady and the Dodgers 10-8 here at Dodger Stadium, but when they go on the road, they get absolutely killed. They are 1-20 against the American League on the road. The pitch to Pierre, a strike. Well, you take a look at that little old schedule, and the Dodgers will leave here and go to Toronto and Tampa Bay with a 1-20 road record against the American League. Strike one pitch. Pierre hits it in the air to left field. Going back a little is Garrett Anderson to pick it off. But for Pierre and for Furcal to hit a ball in the air is pretty much of a waste of time. And at the end of 3, no score. No score as we go to the 4th inning. Thinking cap time. Mike Scioscia, one of 5 all-star catchers in Los Angeles Dodgers history. Who are the other 4? Yeah, 4 other all-star catchers in Los Angeles Dodger history. You know, one of the worst things, and of course the Dodgers have a good manager and Grady Little and all that, but one of the worst things that happened, I think, to the Dodger organization involved Mike Scioscia. Meanwhile, Orlando Cabrera, Vladimir Guerrero, and Gary Matthews Jr. All right, 0-1. That was when, during the Kevin Malone regime, that Mike Scioscia was told to his face, you do not have a future in the Dodger organization. Great, huh? 13 years with the Dodgers, and they told him he didn't have a future. And of course, this regime had nothing to do with that. 1-2 the count to Orlando Cabrera, who singled to center in the 1st inning. Vladimir Guerrero, naturally, with all of his power and all of his gifts, has done a tremendous job for the Angels. But boy, this fella has really been a valuable asset. A chopper to Betemide, who double clutches and got him anyway. So Wilson Betemide still able to take care of Orlando Cabrera on that chopper. 1 out in the 4th. And the batter is Vladimir. When Guerrero was just a little guy growing up in the Dominican, takes outside ball 1, he had to bring in the cattle, and the bulls were stubborn. And Vlad said he had to push them until they did what they were supposed to do. 1-1. And because he had to push those bulls around, he said that's what made me strong up here, pointing to his arms and chest. No bull. 1 ball, 1 strike to Vlad. Hit off the end of the bat. Little roller to Kent. Plenty of time. So Derek Lowe has allowed 1 hit, 1 walk. He's faced just 1 man above the minimum. And the batter is Gary Matthews, who struck out in the 1st inning. No score in the 4th. The Angels, no runs, 1 hit. The Dodgers, no runs, no hits. That's low, ball 1. Last year, Gary hit .314 against left-handers and .313 against right-handers. You want to talk about being consistent. He had a great year for the Rangers. Hit .313, 19 home runs, 79 runs batted in. And he's having a solid year for the Angels. .281, 9 home runs, 40 RBIs. So a magnificent year, and it certainly paid off for him with a long-term contract. He takes his 2nd strike. 1-2. Gary said when he was playing high school football, they called him Spider-Man because he has long arms and legs. Well, he was Spider-Man 1. And Spider is caught up in his own web. And for Derek Lowe, he picks up his 4th strikeout, retires the side in order, walks off scoreless. Derek Lowe on 11 pitches shut the Angels down in the fourth. No score. And now Irvin Santana, who stopped the Dodgers on 8 pitches in the third inning, going to work on Nomar, who pops it up on the right side. And it will be Casey Kochman making the play. So 1 pitch and 1 out in the fourth inning. Say, remember our Aflac trivia question? It had to do with Mike Scioscia, one of 5 All-Star catchers in L.A. Dodger history. You remember who the others were? Well, certainly John Roseboro. Tom Haller might surprise you. And, of course, Mike Piazza and Paul LaDuca. So Russell Martin battling and hoping to make the All-Star game. And it'll be up to you if he can be elected. Here is Kent, who walked in the first inning and takes a strike. 0-1. Santana out there on the mound has really turned things around in his career as far as interleague games are concerned in which he's been involved. Strike 1 pitch, fastball, hit down to Cabrera. 2 down. When Santana started his first 4 games in interleague play, 1 and 2 and an earned run average out of sight, and now his last 5 starts 4-0. He's just been great. You have 2 ball clubs that just refuse to give it up when they're out in front late in a game. If the Angels have the lead after 8, it's about a lock. They have had 113 games where they led after 8 and won. Meanwhile, the Dodgers have the major's longest active winning streak when leading after 8 in home games. Dodgers have won 95 in a row at home. And a drive to right, but not hard enough at all, and Guerrero is there. So there go the Dodgers very quickly in the 4th inning. And for Santana, he has now retired 10 in a row since the walk to Kent. And at the end of 4, no score. Dodger Baseball on FSN Prime Ticket is brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection. Boy, this is starting off to be quite a game. 5th inning, no score. Only 1 hit in the game. Kochman fouls it off. The only hit, a single up the middle by Orlando Cabrera. Lowe was allowed just 1 other man to reach. That was Molina, who was nailed on a busted hit and run play. And Santana, after 2 walks in the first inning, has retired 10 in a row without a hit. Casey Kochman at the plate 3 years ago began his major league career where he had 48 plate appearances without a strikeout. A pretty good contact hitter. Takes off the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kochman grounded to short in the 2nd inning. Kent goes in the hole and throws him out. Nice play by Jeff. So Kent taking a possible base hit away from Casey Kochman.
Left fielder number 16.
And the batter now will be Garrett Anderson. Anderson, as we see Jeff Kent, another turn and an accurate throw, has certainly served the Angels so well. And when you look at Garrett's career in the last 10 years, Anderson has 1,783 hits. Who has more over that stretch? A-Rod, 1,800. Jeter, 1,900. And by the way, the Mets shut down the Yankees tonight 2-0. Kind of a historic game in some sense played today when the Giants played at Boston. First time that the Giants had been at Fenway Park since the 1912 World Series. The Giants also played the Braves in Fenway Park because Braves Park was not completed. And it meant the people in Boston saw Barry Bonds, but nothing happened historically. And that will do it for Garrett Anderson. 5 strikeouts for Derek Lowe. So Lowe is on a roll now. He's retired 8 in a row. And Derek ready to work on Howie Kendrick. Little low, 1 ball and no strikes. Kendrick's from Jacksonville, Florida. 10th round pick 5 years ago by the Angels. 1-0 to count. A strike. Right-handed all the way. Interesting, when Kendrick started his career in college, he was cut from the baseball team as a freshman. So then he moved on to little-known St. John's River Community College, and that's where Casey Kochman's father found him. Tom Kochman loved the way he swings the bat, and they signed him, and here he is, hitting .268, 1-2. So playing alongside Tom's son. 2-2. He'll be 24 in the middle of July. 5'10", about 195. Down and in and down and dirty he goes. 6 strikeouts for Derek Lowe. That means he's retired 8 in a row. And at the end of 4.5, no score. Dodger Baseball on FSN Prime Ticket is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Come try the new Buffalo Chicken Sandwich at Carl's Jr. Spice up your day. And by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest. Russell Martin, a comebacker, and Santana's body stops it, and he's able to throw him out. So the Dodgers are still looking for their first hit. But the Angels want to make sure that Santana is all right, and Mike Scioscia will be out there and a meeting behind the mound to see if Irvin is okay. So Martin hit it hard. Santana blocked it with his left leg. Looked like almost the shin just below the kneecap. So Santana stayed with it. So the Dodgers still looking for a hit. And it's 11 in a row. They'll now let Irvin make a practice throw or two to make sure he's okay. And he wants a different ball. One more. Mike said, well, okay. So Mike Scioscia goes back to the dugout. 1 out, smile on the face of Irvin Santana. The interesting thing, not just the fact the Dodgers have gone down 11 in a row. The last 7 Dodgers have gone down on 14 pitches. You know, Santana made only 8 pitches in the 3rd inning, made only 5 pitches in the 4th inning. Breaking ball strike. So the Dodgers have been very restless at the plate. After a 1st inning that saw Santana walk 2 and make 25 pitches. Now they're swinging at anything in the neighborhood. 0-2. So now Betemeat has to walk off a foul ball. 0-2. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. In an hour. 1 hit, a single by Cabrera in the 1st inning, 2 walks to give the Dodgers 2 base runners and nothing else. Santana is coming off his first complete game and his best pitch game, even as far as hits are concerned. Did he? I think he did. Yep. So another strikeout, number 4. And 12 in a row retired by Santana. And the batter will be Matt Kemp.
Number 27, Matt Kemp.
The low hit game in his young career for Irvin Santana. A 5-hitter. And it was last time out. So he's really on the beam as Matt Kemp steps in. and promptly strokes it into left center, base hit. So the way the Dodgers have been appearing at the plate, if there was going to be a hit, I guess you figured it would be on the first pitch. And so Matt Kemp singles into left center, and each side has one hit. And Derek Lowe coming up with 2 outs.
Number 23, Derek Lowe.
Derek Lowe has 5 hits, 1 RBI, strikes out a little bit less than a third of the time. Popped up in the 3rd inning when he led off. No score, bottom of the 5th. Fastball and first pitch. Lifted into shallow right. Easy play for Vlad. And that'll be that. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. Quickly at the end of 5, no score. The Braves have 2 men on. Marquise Grissom at second, Mark Lemke at first, and the hitter is Chipper Jones. Count goes to 3-2. The runners take off. Jones hits a blooper into shallow left field. Juan Castro makes an over-the-shoulder catch for 1 out. Throws to Delino Shields, doubling up Marquise Grissom. 2 out. Marquise is doubled, and immediately DeShields turns, throws to first. That gets Lemke triple play. With that in mind, let's go back to this one. Jose Molina, followed by Irvin Santana, and then Sean Figgins. And we're in the 6th inning. No score. Each side with 1 hit. Molina walked in the 3rd inning. Oh, 2. Derek Lowe, a veteran, has had a lot of tough ball games, and especially nothing tougher than his last complete games, 3 of them without a win. And that takes care of Molina. Let's take a look now at Derek Lowe's work. And it started off with a strikeout. First of Guerrero, then of Matthews. Then he put Santana away. Picked up Gary Matthews a 2nd time. Nailed Anderson. And for good measure, got Howie Kendrick. So he has a half a dozen. Now he adds Molina to that. And he has struck out 3 in a row. And 4 of the last 5 hitters he has faced. And he's got a strike immediately on Santana. 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a sinker, a strike, 1-2. Derek pitched a no-hitter in April 5 years ago over the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He did it with Boston at Fenway Park. Well, now he is really on a roll. 8 strikeouts, 4 in a row, and 5 of the last 6 batters. So all of a sudden, 3, 6, 8, 10 in a row. Retired by Derek Lowe. No score in the 6th. What a matchup this is. Lowe and Santana tomorrow afternoon. Jared Weaver and Jason Schmidt. And then Sunday, Kelvin Escobar and Randy Wolf. So Randy getting an eyeful. If you are a pitcher, this is a masterpiece. Talking about Derek Lowe striking out people, etc. Santana has something going. Santana has thrown 13 strikes in a row to retire 7 of 8 batters. In fact, the last time that Santana made a pitch that missed the strike zone was in the 3rd inning. The bunt and foul. 1-2. So this is one of those games where you figure the starting pitchers are so brilliant. Neither one deserves to lose. Each man deserves to win, but it won't work out that way. But this is push against shove. 2 out, 6th inning, no score. The Angels have not been able to get a man to second. The Dodgers got Furcal to second in the 1st inning. And a base hit by the diving Betemit. So Figgins not only breaks the string at 10, he also extends his hitting streak to 14. So Derek Lowe allows 2 hits. Now Figgins will present quite a problem. He has stolen 13 out of 15, and of course, if you are a base stealer, this is your kind of game. And here is Cabrera, single, grounded out. So we'll watch, and there goes Figgins on a pitch out. Martin, a high throw, and he's in there. A catcher's nightmare to call a pitch out, get a good pitch to handle, and then throw high. So Figgins steals second for the Angels. They now have 62 stolen bases to lead the American League. To compare, the Dodgers have 50. So that certainly figured. A 2-out single and a stolen base, and now Cabrera trying to pick him up. And Cabrera certainly capable of doing that. He's hitting .338. So Derek Lowe, for the first time, faced with a runner at second base and 2 out, and the veteran Cabrera at the plate. Figgins, who can fly, at second. Half swing on what looked like a slider, and a 2-1 count. Cabrera's 33 from Cartagena in Colombia. In fact, his career and Edgar Renteria's have been entwined. Cabrera's dad, a scout, recommended Renteria to the Florida Marlins, and then, wouldn't you know, Renteria replaced Cabrera with the Boston Red Sox. Ball 3, and of course, how important is Cabrera? Well, all you have to do is look at the guy on deck. 3-1 to Orlando Cabrera. Walks more than he strikes out. Breaking ball for a strike. Orlando, 5'10", about 180 pounds. Originally signed by the Expos as a free agent back in 1994. And he was a better basketball player as a kid than a baseball player. Little foul. So much so, Cabrera, who was a point guard, almost got a scholarship to the University of Miami, but the Expos called, signed him for $7,000. And Orlando said the only reason they signed me for $7,000, I was in college. Otherwise, they would have signed me for $1,000. Boy, has that paid off. Remember his brother, Kobe, played briefly with the Dodgers. With runners in scoring position and 2 outs, he's hitting .419. And a fast sinker gets him. 9 strikeouts for Derek Lowe. He doesn't have to look at Guerrero with anybody on base. And it's rare to see Cabrera strike out on a pitch down and in. And at the end of 5.5, no score. Big crowd on hand tonight. We were told a sellout, and what a ball game this is. No score, bottom of the 6th inning. The Dodgers no runs, 1 hit, and the Angels no runs, 2 hits. Derek Lowe has struck out 9. And now for the Dodgers against Irvin Santana, Rafael Furcal, Juan Pierre, and then Nomar. A slap bunt slowly to short. Tough play. Cabrera's throw is too late. When Furcal is hitting left-handed and puts that kind of a swing on a ball, like Ichiro, he is on his way to first base, and it's so hard for a shortstop to come in and get him. And Cabrera did everything possible, but Rafael, hitting left-handed, beats it out. Yeah, how in the world do you defend against that? So Cabrera, who strikes out with Figgins at second to end the sixth, now gets burned on the ground ball base hit by Furcal. And here is Juan Pierre hitting .277. A bunt and foul, 0-1. Last time up, Pierre hit a reasonably long fly ball to left field. Anderson had to go back to get it. The last home run that he hit was last September against John Lieber, also of South Alabama. So for call at first, nobody out. Sixth inning, no score. And remember, San Diego lost. First place is vacant for the moment. Arizona started the day 2 games back, and they won. So they're 1 game back. And the door is open for the Dodgers. Figgins well in on the grass at third. Santana, the last 3 innings, has been absolutely brilliant. And a line drive base hit. So back-to-back singles. Dodgers at first and second, and nobody out. So Santana, who was throwing nothing but strikes, maybe has been around the plate too much. And here comes Garciaparra, followed by Kemp. In a brilliant game, no score. Garciaparra hit back to the box and popped up. The last 10 Dodgers now, their first pitch has been a strike. So let's see what happens with Garciaparra. 2 on, nobody out. And he misses inside, ball 1. Nomar, and they're beginning to count now plate appearances without a home run. Counting tonight 206. Ground foul outside of third, 1-1. For Nomar, that's the longest home run drought of his career, 206. 7 years ago, he went 175 and down. 1-1. Fastball hit to right. Vladimir hesitates, makes the catch. Furcal decides to go to third. It's cut off by Cabrera, and he's in there. Vladimir was fooled on that drive, just did stay with it to make the catch, and he was in such an awkward position. Furcal knew it, and Rafael just did make it on a relay by Cabrera.
Second baseman,
Remember, Vladimir, who is a great hitter, is a little shaky out there. Here he comes, hesitates, goes down to there. He had an ice cream cone. And now Furcal just does beat Cabrera's throw. So Dodgers at first and third, 1 out, no score. Heads up play by Rafael, noticing the awkward position that Guerrero was in, because he has a strong arm. So now Molina will go out to talk to Santana. So in the inning, Furcal had that slap bunt single to short. Pierre single to left. Garciaparra's fly ball moves Furcal to third. And here's Kemp, walked and grounded out. Among other things, Kent has 1 scoring fly ball. And ball 1, nice save by Molina. And as we always do with a runner at third, we look it up and we find that Santana has 4 wild pitches. So that's a lot of pressure on Molina. Meanwhile, with Pierre at first, Molina has his hands full. 1 ball and no strikes. Pierre looking for an opening. He has stolen 20 out of 26. There he goes. Fouled away. A needless head first slide by Pierre. One ball and one strike. Dodgers have a chance to get into first place. The Angels led Seattle by 5 at the start of the day. So Grady saw his club win 3 in a row from the Mets. Now battling the Angels and a chance to break through here. 1-1. See about Pierre. He's not going. And fouled away. 1-2. So Kent trying desperately to make contact, pick up the run. Kent with 27 strikeouts and 24 walks going in, and he walked once. Meanwhile, Derek Lowe hoping to get a run. No score. 6th inning, 1 out. Pierre not going, and it hits Kent to load the bases. For Irvin Santana, that would be his 4th hit batter. So the bases are loaded.
Luis Gonzalez.
And there'll be a meeting at the mound as Luis Gonzalez coming up. For Gonzo, hitting .284, 8 home runs, 28 runs batted in. And by the way, Gonzalez has 3 grand slams. The last one was 6 years ago in July against the Astros. So no score, 1 out. Gonzalez going into this game was 2 for 4 against Santana, but he's 0 for 2 tonight. So the Dodgers have Furcal at third, Pierre at second, Kent at first. And here's Gonzo. Infield back in double play depth. 1 out. And a strike. Big overhand curveball. No balls and 1 strike. This is the kind of a game you'd expect in the playoffs or even in the World Series. So they're out there for Call, Pierre, and Kent. 1 out. And a breaking ball that missed. 1-1. Santana has allowed 3 hits. Breaking ball low, ball 2. You know how people will remember a guy who hit a home run or a base hit in his first major league at bat? When Irvin Santana made his major league debut 2 years ago, he was in Cleveland. The first 4 Indian batters, believe it or not, hit for the cycle. The leadoff guy hit a triple. The next hitter a double. The next guy a single. And the next man a home run. What a way to break in. 2-1. Breaking ball hit into left center. That's going to fall. Base hit. In comes Furcal. In comes Pierre. And the Dodgers lead 2-0. So Furcal started it with that slap bunt, and Gonzalez comes up to give him 30 RBIs, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. And here comes Russell Martin. So Martin waiting at the plate. Ball 1. Dodgers have had some great RBI producers behind the plate. Piazza had over 100 3 years. Twice he had over 90. Russell Martin's high last year, 65, and he is 41 right now. Breaking ball, strike, 1-1. So Furcal and Pierre come home to roost, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Ball 2-1. So Derek Lowe finally has something to lean on, a 2-0 cushion. Two and one. Breaking ball, strike. So all breaking balls so far. Dodgers with 2 hits, a hit batter, and then the third single of the inning for 2 runs. And now 2-2 the count. Kent at second, Gonzalez at first. Breaking ball hit to short. Cabrera shovels to Kendrick. He goes to first. Double play is there, but the Dodgers get 2 and leave 1. As Luis Gonzalez drives one into left center to chase home 2, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Luis Gonzalez, the butter and egg man, delivered again. A line drive single to center to drive in 2. Dodgers lead 2-0. And here we go in the 7th inning with Vladimir Guerrero, Gary Matthews, and Casey Kochman. And that's ball 1 to Vlad, who was left on deck in the 6th inning when Cabrera struck out with a runner at second. 1-0. And a slicing drive to right field down the line on the dead run and unable to handle it as the ball bounced into the stands. So Matt Kemp comes up empty, and Vlad has himself a fly ball double. So that is hit number 3 of Derek Lowe. And of course Vlad hits him everywhere, over his head, almost in the ground. Kemp got it to touch the leather and then pushed it into the stands. So it's a ground rule double, and the batter will be Matthews with Kochman and Anderson to follow. So Vlad, who has 9 brothers and sisters, 4 of which are half siblings, he's accustomed to a crowd, and he's center stage out there as Gary Matthews tries to pick him up. Matthews with 40 runs batted in. That's another thing about the Angels of late. Those hitting behind Guerrero, and lately it's Gary, have done a much better job lately. Cabrera understandably gets a lot of intentional walks, and the only thing that can help as far as Socia is concerned is the guy hitting behind him. He's been walked intentionally 18 times. Check swing on a fastball that misses. No swing. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Chad Billingsley tuning up. Lowe was due to bat third when the Dodgers hit in the 7th inning. One and one the count. One and two. Matthews struck out in the 1st inning and struck out in the 4th. So Gary has struck out 49 times, walked 23. But of course, hitting behind Guerrero in this kind of a game, he's certainly trying to pick him up. 1 and 2. Matthews 9 home runs, 40 RBIs. 2 and 2. When Luis Gonzalez got that base hit with the bases loaded, of late the Dodgers have been terrific with the bases loaded. 13 for 25. Earlier they were awful. They were 2 for 38. So things have certainly perked up in that area. Still 2 and 2. Going into this inning, Derek Lowe had an 18-pitch inning. All the others 11, 12. So he's not had to work hard so far. And he hit that stretch, striking out 5 in a row. He has 9 strikeouts. Make it 10. So Derek Lowe with 10 strikeouts. In looking at his work this year, his high 8 against Atlanta. That was in Georgia. And he won that game going 7 innings. So now with 10, and we'll check and see his strikeout high in his career. And ball 1. Derek with 10 strikeouts tonight. His career high, 10 strikeouts, almost an anniversary, June the 16th, 5 years ago at Atlanta. 1 ball and no strikes. Breaking ball in there. 1-1. Kochman, couple of ground balls to short and to second. Vladimir at second base with 1 out. Breaking ball fouled off. Lowe walked 1 man thus far. He walked Molina back in the 3rd. So that's some ratio. 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Casey, who has a long string of consecutive errorless games and pretty handy with the bat at .327. One and 2. And stroked into left center. Base hit, so Vladimir will score easily. The throw will go into second base. That makes it Dodgers 2, Angels 1. And the batter will be Garrett Anderson. A lot of movement on that pitch. That was not a bad pitch, but Casey Kochman is a good contact hitter. And he was able to just follow the break and single to center. So the Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits. The Angels 1 run, 4 hits. And Garrett Anderson, the batter, with the tying run aboard. Casey Kochman, who represents the tying run, is 2 for 2 in stolen bases. And an anxious moment in the Dodger dugout with Billingsley down in the bullpen, just about ready if they need him. Fastball missed. Ball 1. For Derek Lowe, this next pitch will be number 92. Most pitches in a game for Derek this year, 113. Fastball pulled foul down the line. 1-1. When you get into 1-run games, the Dodgers have won 8 out of 10 by 1 run at home and 15 of 22 all year. The Angels have won 6 out of 9 at home, and they are 7-6 in 1-run games. 1-1. And that's hit to center. Pierre coming up in a hurry to put it away for the second out. Back to first base goes Kochman, and Howie Kendrick will be coming up. Howie Kendrick has grounded out and struck out. He has an 8-game hitting streak on the line. Last year, the publication Baseball America, in talking about Howie Kendrick, said he may be the best pure hitter in the minor leagues. Boy, that's something. Strike. He hit .369 at Salt Lake last year. Look at those numbers. So I would say that would be a rather conservative statement. Who else could put up numbers like that in the minors? 0-1. Boy, that has been an effective pitch. A sinker down and in. That was the same pitch that struck out Cabrera with Figgins at second base and 2 out in the 6th inning. 0-2 to Howie Kendrick. He doesn't walk. He's only walked 5 times, and he now has struck out 30 times. For Derek Lowe, a career high of 11 strikeouts in a masterpiece, and he walks off leading 2-1. As Wilson Bettamy checks in at the plate, and ball 1. Now down in the bullpen, Chad Billingsley was throwing back of Derek in the 7th inning, but now Jonathan Broxton is heating up. So it'll be a tough decision on that ground ball to first. Tough decision for Grady because Lowe has pitched a gem and he has made 96 pitches. So we will see whether Derek is going to hang out and stay in, or would Broxton be brought in. 1 away. The other question is whether Derek is going to hit, and you can see he's got his glove. Well, we better just wait and see. Here is Kemp, struck out and single. Fly ball to right field. Guerrero is there. 2 down. And now we'll find out about Derek Lowe, and the answer is he's finished for the night. James Loney will come up off the bench and hit for Derek. So it's interesting. Derek Lowe has 3 complete games, and he has lost all 3. Here he is tonight, pitching an outstanding game, and he goes out where at least he can't lose. He could win. 2-1 in the 7th, and James Loney coming up. So Loney, who had that home run on Wednesday, he also had a key double in the 6th inning against the Mets. Ball 1. James hitting .333 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Paid attendance is certainly part of the story, and we'll give it to you in a moment. Ball 2. The paid attendance for tonight's game, 56,000, right on the button. That ties the regular season high, 5th time that we have tied the season high. And a sellout crowd tomorrow afternoon, and a sellout crowd Sunday afternoon, and why not? Boy, what an opening act for the 3-game series tonight. By the way, this could be the end of the evening for Santana. He's due to bat second when the Angels come up in the 8th inning. 2-1 to Loney. And that's whacked to right. Base hit. Vladimir over to play it, and Loney makes a turn and holds and has to get back as Guerrero goes after him. So a 2-out single to right for James Loney, who might very well stay in the game in a tough 2-1 game and replace Garciaparra at first base. Rafael Furcal started off the 6th inning with one of his specialties. Run up in the box, put the bat parallel to the ground, and then instead of just bunting, actually slapping the ball toward short. And Cabrera charging in. Here's Rafael running up, slapping at it. Virtually impossible, even though Cabrera did it all. When Rafael is hitting left-handed, you just about can't possibly get him. Strike. 0-1. For Santana, This will be his 86th pitch. And Dustin Mosley is throwing back at him in the Angel bullpen. Foul ball. 0-2. So Irvin Santana was pitching a masterpiece. He had 2 out in the 5th inning, and the Dodgers were still looking for a hit. Kemp got a base hit, but then Lowe flied out. And then in the 6th, for Call's magic and Pierre's single, the hit batter to Kent was a killer for Santana. And then Gonzalez got the base hit for 2. A drive to right, but Guerrero is there. Reaches up with those long arms, and that'll do it for Call. So Santana, you would think, is finished for the night, and he walks off losing 2-1 as Broxton gets ready for the 8th. Dodger Baseball on FSN Prime Ticket is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. And by Southern California Ford. Not just miles per gallon, but more fun per gallon. 2-1 in favor of the Dodgers as we go to the 8th inning. 2 wonderful performances by the starting pitchers. Santana allowed 5 hits and 2 runs. Derek allowed 4 hits and 1 run. Santana walked 2, struck out 4. And look at Derek. 1 walk and 11 strikeouts. Santana made 87 pitches. Derek makes 96. And now Mike Scioscia will go to the bench against big Jonathan Broxton. Reggie Willits will bat for Molina. Eric Ibar will bat for Santana. Well, the Dodgers relied on a bullpen against the New York Mets, and the bullpen was magnificent. We'll see what happens tonight. Ball 1. Willits hitting .323, 14 RBIs. Had a chance to play a lot early when Garrett Anderson wasn't playing. Out of the University of Oklahoma. Born in Chickasha and lives in Noble, Oklahoma. That's a strike. 1-1. You may remember his sister, Wendy Willits. She won a championship ring. She was a member of the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks. And he's the kind of a player that makes you think of David Eckstein or Lenny Dykstra. Hard-nosed. 1-2. Willits is 5'11", 190. 26 years old. He had laser eye surgery back in '04. Then he had a second eye operation in '05. He was very sensitive to light. Boy, imagine being a big league player. 1-2. The Dodger bullpen against the New York Mets totaled 7 innings and allowed 1 hit. It was a single by Jose Reyes. 1 hit, and the bullpen struck out 11. 2-2 to Willits. And down he goes. So Willits, first strikeout for Broxton, and 12 Angels have had their wings clipped. Don't forget Sunday, the Dodgers and the Angels at 1:10. Afterwards, fans who attend the game invited to the field to throw a ball around with Dad. Compliments of Macy's for a most memorable Father's Day gift. Visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. Now, Eric Ibar will come up and bat for Rafael Santana. Jonathan Broxton ready to work on his second hitter. And Ibar reminded you a little bit of Furcal, the way he moved up. Eric is from Boni in the Dominican Republic, and Furcal looking in. Ibar, 23 years old, 5'11", 170. Remember, his younger brother Willie played briefly for the Dodgers. That staggered Russell Martin. 0-2 the count. Jonathan Broxton has a birthday coming up tomorrow, and Big John will be 23 years old. Ibar, a switch hitter. If he gets aboard, he can raise a little havoc. He has struck out, however, almost 3-1 as far as walks are concerned. Typical Dominican player, very aggressive. The old story, you don't walk off the island. 0-2. See you later. Jonathan Broxton. Amazing. You look at John's numbers. He now has 42 strikeouts and he has walked 15. So almost 3-1. So the 2 pinch hitters come up empty. That means 3 strike out in a row because Lowe finished up the 7th by striking out Kendrick. Now Jonathan nails Willits and Ibar. And here's Figgins, who has grounded out twice and singled, so he has hit safely in 14 straight. 2-1 Dodgers in the 8th. Ball 1. Sean 1 for 3, 14 games hitting streak, career high. At Elyria, Georgia. I love it about his mother and dad. They lived in adjacent houses, born on the same day, and they married. Ground ball to the hole. Tough play with Figgins' speed. The throw got him. I'll tell you what, there aren't very many shortstops who can make that play, especially on Figgins. Wow. Rafael Furcal, a most difficult play. He's going away from the action and still had enough to beat him, and it's 2-1 Dodgers. The Dodgers lead 2-1, and it started with that slap bunt by Furcal for a base hit. Juan Pierre followed with a single to left. So the Dodgers had 2 on, nobody out. Then with 1 out, Kent was hit by a pitch, and Luis Gonzalez single to left center to drive in both Furcal and Pierre, and that's it. Then the Dodgers surrendered the run in the 7th inning on a double by Guerrero and a 1-out single by Casey Kochman. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, right-handed Dustin Mosley pitching to Juan Pierre. Slow curveball for a strike. Mosley out of Texarkana, Texas. 6'4", 194. Line foul outside of third. On one sheet, they say he was born in Texarkana, Texas, and lives in Texarkana, Arkansas. And that's true. He went to Texarkana, Arkansas High School. 0-2. Fouled off, and boy, Pierre had to fight that fastball off. Wow. 0-2 the count. Pierre tonight popped up, flied to left, and then single to left. Ground ball to the right side. Kendrick is there. 1 out in the 8th. By the way, don't go wandering off. In the 9th inning, the Angels will have Cabrera, Guerrero, and Matthews. And down in the Dodger bullpen, getting ready to face a trio of fine hitters, Takashi Saito. So here is Nomar, ready to look at a pitcher who brings a lot to the dance. Fastball, very good curve, circle change, and a few cutters to a left-hand hitter. Ground ball by the diving Figgins for a base hit. So Garciaparra, a single to left. He's 1 for 4. And the batter will be Jeff Kemp.
For the Dodgers second baseman, number 12, Jeff Kemp.
So Nomar at first with 1 out. Garciaparra doesn't figure to do much running. He has stolen 2 out of 3. For Jeff Kent, walk, grounded out, and then a big pitch. He was hit by the pitch in the 6th inning. 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th. Big overhand curveball. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Mike Scioscia saw his club come in with a little 2-game winning streak. But remember, since the 8th of May, the Angels have won 25 and lost only 9. Fastball for a strike. 1-1. So Dustin Mosley, 25 years old. One of those unfortunate people. He was born the day after Christmas. You always lose something there. 1-1. Fastball fouled away. Thrown in the low 90s. 1-2 to Kemp. Dustin signed for not quite, but almost $1 million bonus with the Reds. He also got college scholarship money, and he never came up with the Reds. Made it last year with the Angels. Ground ball hard to third, backhanded by Figgins. They get 1. They will turn it. So Jeff Kent hits into the double play, 5-4-3, and we are heading for the 9th inning. It will be Cabrera. It will be Guerrero. It will be Matthew. And it will be Takashi Saito. Dodgers lead the Angels 2-1 as we go to the 9th inning. It'll be helmets, hard hats, and seat belts as Cabrera, Guerrero, and Matthews will be coming up against Takashi Saito. The Dodgers make 1 defensive change. Tony Abreu is now at second base for Jeff Kent. And Mike Scioscia went out to find out, since both men are coming into the game at the same time. I would guess, if you're keeping score, Saito would go in Kent's spot. And then they also bring in Andre Ethier in left field for Gonzalez. So we had best check.
Now plays second base, number 6, Tony Abreu.
So Ethier for Gonzalez, Abreu for Kent, and Takashi Saito. Saito appeared in the first 2 games against the Mets. In the first game, he pitched the 9th inning and made only 10 pitches. In the second game, he pitched the 9th inning and made only 11 pitches. He did not play in Wednesday's game. Tomko finished up. So he was rested Thursday, and here he is Friday night. Standing in his way, trying to protect a 1-run lead, Orlando Cabrera, Vladimir Guerrero, and Gary Matthews. Cabrera singled, grounded out, had a huge at-bat in the 6th inning, and for one of the few times struck out with a runner at second and 2 down. Ball 1. Cabrera hitting .337, 3 home runs, 37 runs batted in. 1-1. With Saito, everybody knows you're going to get fastballs and sliders. If you are keeping score, Saito will hit in Kent's spot. That kind of gets him out of the way. 1-1. Slider fouled away. Abreu will hit in Gonzalez's spot. And Ethier would bat 9th. One and 2 to Orlando Cabrera. Fouled away. Good fastball down and away at 94. And Cabrera, a very good hitter, was able to foul it off, which is what good hitters do. Still 1-2. One and 2 to Orlando. 2-2. We're in the ninth, 2-1 Dodgers. He's still up there hacking. That's why it was somewhat of a surprise to see Cabrera strike out with a runner at second in the 6th inning. More a tribute to Derek Lowe than anything else. Cabrera has only struck out 19 times all year. 2-2. Fastball. Got him. So a fastball inside corner at the knees. Right there. And down goes Cabrera. It also means 14 Angels have struck out tonight. Remember, Lowe struck out 11. Broxton struck out 2. And now Saito. And here comes Vladimir. And this ought to be something. Oh, 1. Boy, when you get a matchup like this, Guerrero and Saito, I think the best thing to do is shut up. Just you concentrate, and I'm going to have some fun myself. Slider. 2 out. Take another look. Saito battling Guerrero. Slider. Slider. Fastball. Slider. And a fly ball into the glove of Pierre. So a great duel. Boy, it was a moment there with a crowd on its feet roaring. Great confrontation. Okay, 2 down in the 9th. Dodgers lead 2-1. Standing in the way, Gary Matthews, who struck out 3 times against Derek Lowe. Slider. 0-1. Matthews hitting .278, 9 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Fastball. Dodgers trying to make their record 16-7 in 1-run games. Everybody up now. I mean, this really is a playoff game. 0-2. Fastball hit up the middle. Percal has to hurry. Too late. So Gary Matthews, a leg single up the middle. And the Angels are still alive as Casey Kochman will be the hitter. Fastball that seemed to be tailing away. And Matthews runs very well and beats it out. That close. So the tying run at first with 2 out, and Casey Kochman grounded to short, grounded to second, and single to center to drive in the Angel run. Now you saw Matthews' speed. If you wonder, he's stolen 10 out of 13. Do you think that Socia would roll the dice and run him? We'll see. Kochman hitting .330. The Angels ran Figgins in the 6th inning, and he was successful. They put a hit and run play on with Jose Molina, but Santana missed the pitch and Molina was nailed. So they are 1 for 2 in stolen bases. Game 1 of a great 3-game series. Tomorrow afternoon, Jared Weaver and Jason Schmidt. Sunday afternoon, Kelvin Escobar and Randy Wolf. And ball 1. Casey, as those numbers would indicate, red hot. Thing that makes Kochman so dangerous is his ability to make contact. Remember, they called up Kochman 2 years ago to replace Darren Erstad, who was hurt, and he had 4 multi-hit games in his first 8 starts. That's right, 1-1. For Casey, well, among other things, he played on a championship team when he was 12 years old. He was on a team that played for the state title at 13. He played third base in a senior Little League World Series when he was 15. He's kind of accustomed to pressure. Ground foul, 1-2. And when Casey was in high school at Seminole High School, he played on a Florida Class 5A state championship team. 56,000 sitting in on a gem. 1-2 to Kochman. Matthews not going. A bouncer off the glove of Saito. Here comes Furcal, who can't make the play. Backed up by Abreu, and Matthews holding. And the Angels are still alive, and that'll be an infield single. 2 on, 2 out. And talking about the guy they look to, it's a fella they've been looking for and to for years, Garrett Anderson. Well, let's go back in the books. Saito and Anderson, they have never faced each other. And now Rick Honeycutt has gone out to talk to Saito as to how they want to pitch him. In the last 10 years, remember, there are only 2 players who have had more hits than Garrett Anderson. They would be Derek Jeter, number 1, and Alex Rodriguez, number 2. Anderson tonight against Derek Lowe, grounded to first, struck out, flied to center. He'll be 35 at the end of June, and he was signed by the Angels 17 years ago. For Takashi Saito, 2 on, 2 out, ready to make his 19th pitch of the inning. Anderson hitting .266. Breaking ball, a curve ball for a strike, not the slider. 0-1. Anderson last year, 17 home runs, 85 RBIs. Fastball, a chopper to the right side to Abreu. That's it. For the Angels in the 9th inning, no runs, 2 hits. They lead 2 as the Dodgers try to come back at home, and Luis Gonzalez with a bases loaded single to center to drive in 2, and then riding the arm of Derek Lowe, who was magnificent, and the Dodgers win yet another 1-run game. The Dodgers have won 9 of 11 by 1 run at home. They are 16-7. And for the Angels, a team that struggles away from their home ballpark, the Angels now have lost their 4th on the road. They've won only 1, and they are 7-7. The player of the game, without a doubt, has to be Derek Lowe, with striking out 11. He got Guerrero and Matthews in the first inning. Then he got Santana in the 3rd. Picked up Matthews again in the 4th. Got Anderson. Then he got Kendrick to give him 6. Then he got Molina. Then he got Santana again. And then for good measure, Cabrera, the big strikeout of the night. In the 7th inning, he got Matthews for the 3rd time. Then Kendrick for the 2nd time and called it a night. So Lowe is now 7-6, 1-1, and 6-5 lifetime against the Angels. A reminder, Weaver and Schmidt tomorrow, Escobar and Wolf on Sunday. Once again, the final score.